So as you guys know, we have a Discord server for YouTube members and Twitch subs. One of the things we did recently was I put onto our Discord a question, very simple question. I asked, what are your gaming hot takes? Leave them here and we can look at them on stream. And that's what we're gonna do here because I wanted to know what hot takes you guys have. Because some of you guys, I'm gonna be honest, some of these are crazy. Okay, some of these, I'm like, wow, really? Okay. But we're gonna look at them and I'm gonna give you a chance to defend yourself if you happen to be in chat, okay? I wanna see what these are like. While I think the series is good, I don't think Assassin's Creed was ever as great or amazing as people like to think it was. It's just nostalgia. Wow. For each of these, after I read it, guys, put a W or an L in the chat so that I can, we see what people think of it, okay? We see the general consensus. Is that a W or an L take? I'm curious where people are. I think there was a time, again, in the context of the franchise, there was a time where Assassin's Creed was regularly like industry leading, especially like even AC2, especially for the time, that game actually was as good as people remember it. Very, very good. Black Flag. At the time, it actually was that good. And even now, it's still very good. So I'm going to say this is a hot take, certified hot. I'm going to rate this 2 booms of spiciness. Boom, boom. Yeah, but interesting take. That is a hot take. Oh, that is a hot take. Offhanded 1999. While I think Red Dead 2's story was good, it could and should have been half the amount of time. L or W? What do you guys think about that? Red Dead should have been half the time. I personally think part of the reason that Red Dead works so well is because it takes its time so much. I think that's a huge component of it. So I can understand how it can be exhausting. The one piece of this where I could maybe agree with you is the epilogue. The epilogue wanted you to feel like John, and I know, spoiler, it's 7 years old, okay? We can be specific. They wanted you to feel like, oh, I just lived a life that was crazy, exciting, and wild. And now it's shifted forward, and now I'm boring, and I'm living on a farm with my wife and kids. They wanted you to feel things had slowed down, but I think it worked too well. A lot of people got burnt out. I was just making fun of my buddy Corey the other day because he never finished the epilogue. He was like, I'll watch a YouTube video on it. I don't need to play it. It was so boring. And I think a lot of people were kind of like that. I think a lot of people fell off during the epilogue. They're like, I'm playing for Arthur, not for this. Remington Dragon, The Walking Dead Survival Instinct was a fun and decent game. I don't actually know what that game is, so I don't actually know if that's a W or an L. I'm sorry, Remington Dragon. So I cannot offer any thoughts on that one. Martin K, not sure if it's a hot take, but most games are better modded. I think I'd have to ask more specifically, modded on the first run through or just on the second? Because obviously I think you got to play the game vanilla first. I think you mod it after that, but I've seen people like load into Cyberpunk for the first time and they load it up with mods and stuff, and I'm like, I probably wouldn't do that. I would love to have a popular game series like Assassin's Creed, Halo, Battlefield, GTA do smaller games in the IP. I can imagine a really good roguelike games with those IPs, something like that was made with Deep Rock Galactic, where they released a smaller game called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, a single player survival like auto shooter, and it's fantastic, currently sitting at 86, very positive rating on Steam. I don't even know if that's a hot take. That just seems like a good idea. You got the IP, might as well make money on it. J0T4. Honestly and respectfully, I consider, get ready, guys. Get ready. This is going to trigger some people, okay? Honestly and respectfully, I consider Hideo Kojima to be overestimated by the industry and his fans. I feel like every single Kojima product is an inside joke told in the public that only those who know get it. And I don't feel like any of his products invited me to be a part of that world. Ooh. Anything even like a positive take on Kojima is considered a hot take nowadays. He's a very polarizing guy. It's why it's going to be so fascinating to see what the reaction is to like Death Stranding 2. I'm very interested to see what that's like. Very interested. But that's a hot take. I do think Kojima he's overrated as a writer. I think he is a great idea man. He's good at like creative direction. Dialogue, bro is hopeless. I'm sorry. In Death Stranding, there's many cutscenes and stuff where he rambles for like half an hour, or he'll have characters ramble for half an hour, and you literally could summarize the person's take in like a sentence. Like, it drives me crazy. If he had an editor or somebody to write dialogue for him and then he just comes up with the themes and stuff, now we're talking. But I think with dialogue, he needs an editor. Lego Frodo says, I view Kojima as a better artist than a game director in that aspect. His concepts are brilliant, but I feel that he needs more people to help him rather than him doing everything. Sam Lake should be on the same level as Kojima when it comes to game direction, but Lake is very underrated. Oh yeah, I think that's not even a hot take. I think Sam Lake is underrated. Loxy, I second the Kojima hot take. His games, to me, always feel largely like a manifestation of look at me and my crazy exposition. Sometimes it does feel like he's just like, what's the most insane thing I could put here? What if they just started crying randomly? And then like there's monsters, but their footprints are actually hands. And what if you carried a baby around with you? And when you die in the game, you go to the bottom of the pool, the ocean, and then the camera goes into your mouth, and then you see the baby's butt, and then flips around and laughs, and then you revive. Brilliant. You know, sometimes it does feel like he's just trying to be as outrageous as possible, but it's entertaining. You know, it's entertaining. I'll give him that. Loxy says, I suppose my hot take is that Dragon Age Inquisition is actually a pretty good game as long as you don't hang around in the Hinterlands map too long. It always surprises me how much hate the game gets. I think it came at a fascinating time in the period, or time in the gaming industry, fascinating period of time in the gaming industry, because 2014 was this like, it was this transitional period where we were shifting from fully like 360 PS3 era fully into next gen, which had come out the previous fall. And so a lot of games were getting bigger in scope. A lot of games were trying to utilize that tech. And so for a while, games were just bigger for the sake of being bigger. And I remember a lot of the marketing around Inquisition was just about how massive it was. It has 100 hours of gameplay. It has 100 hours of side quests. It's massive. It technically never ends. That was like one of the big selling points. And at that time, that was seen as a W in the industry. Nowadays, I think massive games are largely like met with shrugging, and people are like, oh, another 100-hour game. But at the time, that was a huge component of it. I think without a doubt, though, pacing was a weakness of Inquisition. And maybe if you can get past that, it's better. Nah, Dragon Age is peak. That isn't a hot take. My hot take is that Avowed is a 9 out of 10 game. Ooh, okay, people. L or W on Avowed is 9 out of 10. What do you think? Avowed and 9 out of 10. That to me is pretty high. That's pretty high, man. Like, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but 9 is like what I would consider an amazing game. Like a 9 is what I would put. Oh man, that's pretty high. Yeah, that's probably, if I had to give it a W or an L, I would say L. I think that's too hot. That's too hot for me. It's too hot. I don't think it's like a 6, but I don't think I'd give it like a 9. Loxy, that is a hot take. I'd accept 6 or a 7, but 9 is really stretching it. Yeah. Byron, this one, my hottest take: stealth systems haven't changed since Metal Gear Solid 3. Lukewarm take: Halo Wars had the best AI difficulty, 150 levels, and auto-adjusted based on your levels of success and failure. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. I didn't really mess around with Halo Wars. That's really cool. Like a fully dynamic AI system that actually pulls and shifts and changes based on your success level, so it auto-balances, so you have the same like win-loss ratio and success level as everybody else. That's interesting. Lorkel says, okay. Oh, this is okay. This is a hot take. Buckle up, guys. Hot take. From Lorkel, the gaming community created all of the issues with gaming today, i.e. live service games, small development times for big games due to the lack of patience, being D1 defenders of massive studios like Ubisoft when they stopped making good games over 10 years ago. The gaming community has crippled this industry by buying into all of the ridiculous ideas that executives have had for the last 10 years. Also, let's face it, we are the old people now. When we felt like gaming was in its peak, we were the same age that kids are now that love this era of gaming. Okay, W or L. I think to a certain extent, I see what you're saying. But like people complain about microtransactions, loot boxes, battle passes, things like that. But the reason they do them is because people buy a lot of them. Like they spend so much money. Like over 50% of all gaming revenue for 2024 came from microtransactions. All gaming revenue, like all of it. That's insane. So we may be like, for the love of God, stop. This is stupid. But a lot of people still buy it. A lot of people are buying those $20, $30 skins, and they're buying a lot of them. And then at that point, it's like, you can't really say it's anybody's fault, but the people buying it. So maybe like the gaming community, we'd have to be more specific, like the gamers that have been engaging with this and encouraging it. But I kind of see what you mean. Like if you're going to complain over AAA games being uninteresting, but you still buy them, I get it. I get what you're saying. It's a hot take, but I think you could justify that and argue it pretty well.